Okay, today we're going to learn about the ark that Moses made, that God told Moses to have made for the tabernacle. Now, really, they were made not by Moses. Moses didn't make them. We're going to see there's details, there's different opinions also. But they were made by Bezalel and Ahaliav. Bezalel, he came from the tribe of Yehuda, which was the most important, or you want to say the most pedigree tribe in Israel. That's also where the kings all came from. Mashiach is going to come from Yehuda. And Ahaliav came from the tribe of Dan, which is going to be the simplest, the last of the tribes, to show that the higher than lowest, the highest pedigree and the lowest are the same to me when it comes to making the temple. Okay, so here we're talking about the ark. This is pretty much a picture of what the ark looks like. Here's another picture, which is pretty similar, it was made of gold, and it had two statues facing each other with wings spread out over them, and they had poles. The poles were on the short sides of the poles were big at the end, like it says over here. If you can see, I hope this is big. They're big at the end, so they won't come out. They won't come out. This was made of gold, but really there were three boxes here. There was one inside of the other one. And there was a gold box on the outside, and that had a rim around the outside of it. And it also had these rings on it where the poles were put through the rings. And then inside of this was a box of wood, exactly the same shape. And inside of that was another box of gold. So really the main box was the one of wood. And it was coated on the outside and the inside with gold. That's the box. But here we have the covering of the box, the covering. That's called the Kaporet. And the Kaporet is a separate entity. Some people say it's even a separate vessel. In any case, from the Kaporet, it was one big piece of gold, and it was pounded out from the inside to make these two statues come out of it. It was one piece. The top of it was one piece. And we're going to see that there's an opinion. Rashi is going to say the opinion that it was forbidden to put it on until the tablets were inside. In other words, you couldn't make the whole thing. This one, make the box, make the top of it, and put it on and wait until the tablets were put inside. That it was a separate thing and had to be made separately. Okay, that's what we're going to discuss today, and also the importance of it, because if we remember, 2 days ago we learned the Ramban, and he said that this is the most important element in the temple. In fact, this was the main ingredient in the temple and the tabernacle, because there was the Torah. And the Torah is the source of not just all the laws of the Torah and the tabernacle itself, but it was the source of all life in the world. The Torah, everything comes from the Torah. So this ark was put into this room here. See, here you have this. This is what's called the inner chamber. This was 10 amas by 10 amas. An amma is like a foot and a half. So it was about 15 feet by 15 feet. That was the inner chamber. That's called the Holy of Holies, Kodesh Kodashim. And this was called the tent of meeting, Ohel Moed. And that was called the Holy. And these staffs of the ark, these staffs were exactly 10. And it was exactly fit over here. They didn't touch this wall, so it stuck out a little bit over there. And whenever God would speak to Moses, Moses would come into here, and the voice would come out from behind this drape, the voice of God, into the holy. As we spoke about before, in the holy was the candelabra. There's a picture of it. And what's called the face bread, lechem apanim, bread of faces. And there was the golden altar. There's a picture of that. Where they would burn incense every day. The golden altar. This is what's called this whole thing. This is right. This is the Holy of Holies, and the holy. And the outside of this, do we have a picture of it? I don't know where the picture is. I think it's another place. Outside of that was the big the big altar. The big altar where they would burn the sacrifices on. The big altar. Do we have a picture of that? Here is something like this. The proportions are not correct here, but this is generally how it looked, right? The whole courtyard, this was 100 amas, 150 feet by 150 feet, and this was 50 feet. There was no third thing over here. It was 50 feet over here, and 50 feet over here. And this was, this altogether was 30 feet, was 30 amas. 30 amas, which is 45 feet. So it reached almost to the middle, was a little bit, and the big altar, it wasn't here at the end. This part should be about over here, because it took up about a little bit more than half of it. This was 26, from here to here was 26 amas, and this whole courtyard was 50 amas. So it's a little bit more, so it came out to about there. But that's how it looked in general, right? And then, so the Holy of Holies was right here. That's where the ark is. So let's look at the Torah and get this from the source. Ready? Here we go. Okay. Va'asu Aron. They should make an ark. Atze Shittim. Shittim wood. Now, almost all the vessels were made from Shittim wood, but they were coated. And this big outer altar that I just pointed to, that was coated with copper. And these were going to be coated with gold. Okay, you should make an ark from Shittim wood. They should make. Now, this is different, by the way. This language is different from all the other vessels and the furniture in the Holy Temple. The outer altar, the inner altar, the menorah, the candelabra, the bread, the face bread, all those it says vasisa lacha, that you should make. This is the only one where it says vasu, and they should make. And we're going to talk about this. There's three different opinions. We're going to see what they are, why God says over here. And they should make an ark of atze shittim, amotayim v'chetzi arko, 2.5 amas long, ama v'chetzi rachbo, ama v'chetzi komo. So is this appearing? I don't know if it's appearing. Sometimes you have problems over here. Let's do it like this. Here we go. Let's go back to here. Here. Technical problems. There we go. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, it was 2.5 here. 2.5 means every amma is 1.5 feet, right? So it means this was 3 3/4. 3 3/4 feet this way. So let's just use ammas. 2.5 long, 1.5 deep, 1.5 deep. Yes, 2.5 like this, right there, and 1.5 deep. That's it. 1.5 deep. Good. How high should it be? Also 1.5. 1.5 high. So it's a rectangle. Rectangle. 2.5 by 1.5 by 1.5. All right, let's go back. This is not being shared. I'm sorry. Sorry, I still have not learned how to make this thing go. Here we are. Oh, here, 2.5 by 1.5 by 1.5. And these poles are 10, exactly the size of the inside of the ark. Where is it? Inside of here, exactly the size of this, 10. Good. Let's go back to the text. So it says it has to be 2.5 amas long, 2.5 amas deep, 2.5 amas high. Rashi, Asu Aron, Kamin Aronos, just like one of the a box is a chest that you make without feet, and it's like a box, and you have to make it. That's called an eshkorin. Okay, let's see. Let's first of all look at the Baal Haturim. Baal Haturim says in all of them it says asita that you should make, except for the ark. The ark it says v'asu that they should make. All of the other vessels. Why? Because all the other vessels King Solomon made later on, except for the ark. According to this opinion, the ark, there was only one ark. There was this ark that was made, this ark that was made by Moses in the desert. That was it. That was the ark that the tablets were put in, and that's the tablets where the broken tablets were also put in, because Moses broke the first tablets, right? And this was used in the first temple, and it was buried in the first temple underneath, and that's it. King Solomon didn't make another one. That's one opinion. So therefore it says, and they should make. What does it mean they should make? That it should be made, not just that you made it like all the others, but this one is different from the others. This would be made for all of the Jewish people for all time. Aron, the letters of Aron, they're the same letters. Remember the Baal Haturim, he deals with letters and gematrias and things. This is the same letters as Aron, their light. Aron, the light of that the ark contains the Torah, which is the light of the Jewish people. And it's also the same letters as Norah, awesome. Because the Torah is a consuming fire. Aron is the gematria, the numerical value of Nazir, a crown. Sheketer Torah, that the crown of the Torah is higher than anything else. It says that there's 3 crowns, right? One is the Keter Torah, and the Keter Kahuna, and the Keter of Malchut, crown of kingship. And the Torah is higher than all of them. Look, therefore it says, V'asita alav zer zahav. We're going to see. Remember, it said that you should make a rim of gold on the top. And on the table with the bread on it, remember the 12 loaves of bread, it also says the same thing. You should make also a rim around the top, like a crown around the top of it, to say that the crown of the Torah is higher than all the other crowns. It should be 2.5 long, 2.5 deep, 2.5 high. Why? All the measurements of all these vessels always have a half to them, to tell you that a person that learns Torah, first of all, is to break and to humble himself. It says, V'asu Aron, they should make. There's 10 sections of the Torah that begin with this asiya, do, make. This corresponds to the 10 utterances with which God made the world. Okay, that's one opinion. Here's another opinion about why does it say here. The Asu Aron, they should make an ark. Or Chaim asked the same question. Why is it that with all the other vessels and the furnishings in the Holy Temple, the menorah and etc., it says you should make, and here it says they should make. Tam Aron, the reason that it changes, why did God change his word from all the other vessels, that all of them it says vasita, that you should make? And for instance, you should make the table where the bread was, you should make the menorah, the Mishkan, it says the Ta'aseh, you should make the Asita, and they should make, and you should make again, make the altar. And here it says, all of them it says you should make, and here it says they should make. Also in the details of this ark itself, it finally says I'm sorry, Gam Prate, also in the details of the ark itself, it says, and you should. That's normal language. But when it says to make it, it doesn't say you should like all the other vessels. It says they should. Why? Maybe it says it's hinting at Torah. This is the vessel for the Torah, and the Torah cannot be sustained unless all of the Jewish people occupy in it. The world can't. The world has no real existence. I'm sorry. And there is no thing in the world. Yochal lasot kol ikri Torah. Nothing in the world can sustain the Torah, except for the Jewish people. That's why it says asu, that they should make. All of them should make. And this is the sign. And so that's one reason, because everyone is needed. Another reason is, well, because it says to show that Hagam sheb medaber imo, that even though the God spoke to Moses face to face, lo alav bo mitzvah, the command that is not coming to Moses, but it's coming ela lazula, to others, to everyone else. Sheim chachmei lev, in other words, the commandment is coming to Moses, but it's really not coming to Moses. It's coming through Moses, because Moses was not the one that actually made these instruments in the tabernacle. They were made by people who were specially gifted by God, that they were able to make these commandments in the temple. So that's what it says, asu, they should make. Another reason is because the rabbis say that Moses made an ark of wood. When he received the Torah, Moses received the Torah before he got the commandment to make the tabernacle. So what did he do with the Torah, the tablets, when he brought them down? Again, just to remind everybody, Moses went up on Mount Sinai for 40 days, and he came down and he broke the tablets because the Jewish people were worshiping the golden calf. So the first 40 days, they were out, canceled out. Moses went up again 40 days and asked God for forgiveness, and God forgave the Jewish people. And then he went up another 40 days and he came down with the tablets. Now, when he came down with the tablets, the Jewish people, they didn't know exactly all of the laws. They had a lot of the laws, they did have, but the law of the Holy Temple, they didn't have. So the fact is that they really built the tabernacle, and the built the tabernacle was like 9 months right after the Torah was given. Torah was given in 9 months, 10 months after the Torah was actually given. Right, Moses came down on Yom Kippur with the tablets, and they built the tabernacle was built on the first day of Nisan. So, I'm sorry, 6 months later. So all that 6 months, Moses had the tablets. What did he do with them? The commandment to build this ark wasn't there. So it said God commanded Moses specially to make an ark of wood. The Sham Sam Luchot, and there he put these tablets temporarily. Take it immediately when he came down from Mount Sinai, until that Bezalel, like we said, Bezalel and Ahaliah of Bezalel, he made this ark that they put it in forever. And that's what it says also in the Torah, Vasita Lecha Aron Eitz. When it repeats, Moses repeats how it was when God gave the Torah. So first of all, God gave the Torah and he told Moses to make an ark. Shedikdak Lomar Lecha, make for you. What does it mean? It means Ein Pirush V'asita Kasher Asita Ela Tziviticha B'maseh Mishkan V'asita Shulchan. That's what he said, that that now they should make, I'm sorry. That's right. Moses made back then, he made an ark, not like the commandment that he's commanding now, that should be made all these other instruments. But what? Because he already had an ark. The ark was already there. All of them were only made, they were made by Bezalel. The only one that was made by Moses was this ark that he made to temporarily put the tablets in it until the tabernacle would be built like a half a year later. So he said, therefore it says, I am commanding you to make this commandment and to make this ark. That's why it says, V'as Aron. Moses even says later on, I made an ark. This is in when Moses is telling the story to the Jewish people about how he received the Torah. Moses said, I made an ark from wood, and I put the tablets in this ark that I made. Therefore, it says over here, and they should make. What does it mean? That Moses now has a question. Should he use this, when it says to make an ark, does it mean maybe he should just make an ark, use the ark that he already made, or maybe they should make a new one? So it says, Perush milvad mashatase, in addition to what you made, that was only temporary. Also, asu, that they should make, the Jewish people also should make another ark and that's where the tablet should be. The Omer, if you were to say, and you should make, Moses might be able to say that, okay, I already made one. That one I already made in the desert that I should make, I already did it. I don't have to make a new one. Therefore, it tells him yes, or maybe we can say it like this, that there should be an ark that Moses made. Maybe it should be the same ark that Moses made, and that Moses should just use that one and put it in here, and that would be. Therefore, it says no v'asu, that they should make an ark, and they should make a new one in addition to this one that you already made, Moses. What happened to the one that Moses made? I don't know. Another opinion is that no, that they should use this ark that you made, Moses, but also, in addition to all the other vessels, that the another ark should be made, and that wouldn't necessarily be used, but the ark that you made from wood will be, because in any case they had to take the ark that Moses made was only made from wood, and this one they had to make a golden inside and golden outside. Okay, that's another way of looking at it. So that's why God said, and they should make, in other words, in addition to or in place of the ark that you personally made, Moses, to keep the tablets in it temporarily. And just do one more, the Kli Yakar, Rabbi Shlomo Milunshitz, and he says like this. Let's see, what was this? Why in all of them does it say, same question, why in all of the other vessels in the tabernacle it says that v'asita, that you should make, and here it says v'asu, that they should make? The Torah is telling you that everyone should have a part in making this ark, in order that all of them will have a part in the Torah, because the crown of the Torah is available to everybody. It says that's why the Torah was given in the desert, to let you know that the Torah is available to everyone. That's one opinion. Another one, because it says the Torah is a tree of life, Eitz Chaim, so therefore it's coming to tell him, to the people who hold on to it. It doesn't say just the people who learn it, but the people who hold on to the Torah. This tells you that God holds on. Machziki means he strengthens those people who learn Torah, and not everyone merits to learn Torah. Nevertheless, there is some aspect of every person that he has a portion in the Torah. Even though this is not, I'm sorry, if I don't do the proper things, then this doesn't come up. I have to do the sharing of the screen. Okay, here we are. I don't know how much of that came up. Okay. So everybody has a part of the scroll. For instance, there's Yisachar and Zevulun. That Yisachar, it says he learned the Torah, and Zvulun, he went out and made business. He gave money. That's why it says Asu, that they should make the ark. Because the fact that the ark was wood, this hints at the tree of life. Eitz means wood, and also means the tree of life. And therefore, everyone can have a part in the Torah, either learning it or strengthening those who learn. Therefore, everyone has a part in this tree of life, whether with their money, with their time, their energy, etc. Okay. Ve'asita ve'tzipita oso zav tor. You should coat it with gold, pure gold from inside and outside, and you should make this crown around it all over. Rashi says there were really 3 arks here. Bezalel made them. There was Bezalel, he made some of the vessels. Bezalel. It says 2 of them were made from gold, and 1 of them was made from wood. That's what I explained to. All of these, there were 4 walls to each one of them, and a bottom, of course, but the top was open. Top was open. So first of all, he put the one of wood, he put inside of the one of gold. So gold was on the outside. Then he put the one of gold inside the one of wood. So the inner one had to be a little bit smaller. So on the outside was gold, and then he put inside of that the wood one, and then inside of that, he put the gold one. So it was exactly the chipasa v'sav elyona b'zav, and then he covered that outside rim, which was equal to all of them, that was covered also with gold. So you couldn't tell that there were 3 layers. So it comes out that it was the inner, the main one was the wood one inside, but it was covered on all of the sides with gold. And also you have to make a little crown around it, mukaf around it, that was a little bit higher, so that it came, it was a little bit higher, and the top could go inside of it. So in other words, it looked like this. We have the picture. I'm going to try to do this again. Here we go. Here's this rim around it, and the top, right? The top went into the rim. Good. No, didn't go. I just don't know how to make this thing work. Sorry. Here we go. Did we do it again? Sorry, my friends, for all this technical confusion over here. Here, I see I have to do. All right, I don't know what is going to be over here. Sorry, I had the whole thing prepared so nicely. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, there we go. All right. My plans have dissolved. I had this whole thing all fixed up. Oh, look at this. Oh, here's some nice pictures. Hey, all right, but these are all pictures from the temple. This is not bad. Nah, these are supposed to be straight. Okay, let's not get into this. Here we go. Back. Stop the share. Oh, my friends, the world is a confusing place, and I'm just adding to the confusion here. Let's try it again. No, I lost it. All right. Don't give up. Please excuse the delay. Here we are back in the saddle. Here we go. Okay. There we go. All right. We made it. We have waded through the, okay, make a ark. You make 4 rings and put them on the 4 corners. 2 rings on one side, 2 rings on the other side. Rashi, it says 2 rings, like it says in the corners. That's what he says. And then you put it says Shtayim Mikan Shtayim Yan, the Rochvo Shel Aron. The 2 poles are also put through these rings, and the length, the long part of the ark, this is what divides between the poles, 2.5 amas between each one of the bads. So in other words, these bad, not like all the pictures you see where they put these poles to the length. No, it's not. It's to the width, and that the 2 people should be able to carry the ark, and the ark would go between them. In other words, there wasn't a person on each corner. 2 people carried the ark. The 2 people that carried the ark, it says that the Aron, Mahalchim Beneam, the ark would go between them. And also that's what explained in Menachos and etc. The 2 tabos with Tzad the ark goes between them, right? And so this is also explained in Menachos and Perek Shtei Alechem and the 2 tabaot al salochas. So it comes out that it's the thing is pretty wide. People have to cover it. People have to carry it. Okay. You have to make bades, 2 poles of shittim wood and cover them also with gold. You put these poles into the sides of the ark in order to bear the ark. In the rings of the ark should be put these poles, long poles. They should never be removed, right? La'olam. Even when it's inside of the temple and you don't need to carry them anymore, nevertheless you don't move the ark. And it says one of the reasons is because you can't do anything with the ark. You can't touch it unless it's perfectly, completely necessary. And it's not necessary to remove the poles. You don't have to, so you can't. She put the ark, the edus, the 2 tablets that I gave you. And she put them El Aron. It says in the Aron, the edut, the Torah. This is why are they called the edut? It's called the testimony, because it says this is the testimony between me and between you that I commanded you all of the mitzvahs that are inside of it. In other words, the Torah and the tablets are everything. So in this ark was the Torah, it was the 10 commandments, but it was also the Torah that Moses wrote. The Torah that Moses wrote. And it's a question where it was. This edus, if it's referring to the tablets, or if it's referring to the scroll, and where exactly was the scroll put? Was it put inside or? Okay, next, you should make the top of the ark. You should make that of pure gold, and it should be 1.5 amas long and 1.5 wide. Exactly the measurements of the ark. So it says Kisoy Aron. Yeah. Kisoy Aron, this is the covering of the ark, and that it would be also, the ark, it says, was open on the top. And you put this Kaporet on top of it, sort of like a board on the top. It was exactly the measurements of the ark, the width and the length and etc. And you put this on the width of the ark. So it was actually fitting on top of it. And even though that there was it didn't say how thick it was supposed to be, but the rabbis say it was 1 tefach. The top of the ark, this covering, which is called the Kaporet, it was 1 tefach high, which 1 tefach is like this. It was thick of gold. It was pretty heavy. And you should make 2 Kruvim, 2 like faces of angels made of zav, miksha, pounded out, it should be, from the 2 ends of the Kaporet. It says that they were like a child. Rashi says it was like the image of a child, and it should be miksha, it should be pounded out. Don't make these statues on their own and then join them onto the top after you put it onto the ark, like people that stick things together, like the goldsmiths or silversmiths. But what you have to have a lot of gold in the top, and then you pound it. Hikab patish, you have to pound from the inside of the ark in the middle, and then it starts sticking up above, and then you make these 2 kruvim from the outside. So maybe you make them molten hot and you put a thing around them, but nevertheless, they're supposed to be made from 1 piece of gold. You should make 1 kruv on one side and 1 kruv on the other side, 1 from one side. It says, why does it have to repeat this? Maybe you might think that you have to make 2 kruvim. It says, kruvim, it says, shnei kruvim zahav. It says you have to make 2 of these statues. So you might think, okay, I'll put 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. It says you have to make 2. So it says, don't say you have to make 2 on each side. Therefore, it has to tell you, make only 1 on each side. And it has to be made from the kaporet again. It has to be made from this top itself. Ta'aseh kruvim. That's what it means. Miksha ta'aseh otam. Don't make them on themselves and join it, like we just finished learning. It says the Kruvim should have wings, and they're spread out. The wings are spread on the top of this kaporet, and their faces are each to his friend. They should be, and on the kaporet should be these faces of the Kruvim. Some people say it just should be faces. Some people say this. You should put this covering on the kaporet on the ark, and inside of the ark you should put the tablets that I gave you. Says Rashi, I don't know why it says this exactly, because it already told us to say. Maybe we can say, says Rashi, the Yesh Lomar, maybe we can say that it comes to tell you that when the ark doesn't have when the ark is alone and it doesn't have the cover over it, that's when you have to put the tablets inside of it, and afterwards you put the top on it. Well, you might think I can make the ark and put the top on it, like you go into a store, you buy a bottle or you buy a jar, it has the top is already on it. And then you take off the top and you put things on. It says, but the ark is not like that. You can never put the top on when the tablets are not inside. So it says, don't think that maybe I can make the whole thing, put the top on it, and then wait for the tablets to come. Then we'll take the top off, put the tablets in, then put the top back on. It says, no, you can't do that. So if you attain it to Edut, first of all, you have to put the ark, you have to put the tablets into the ark, and afterwards you can put the top on top of it. And I will speak to you there from on top of this ark, from the covering on the ark, from between these 2 statues that are on the ark, the ark with the tablets inside of it. Everything that I command you to say to the Jewish people. That's what it means. When I set for you a time to speak with you, so I'm going to set with you a place, and that place is going to speak to you. What does it mean? It says, another place it says that God spoke from the tent. That's the whole Mishkan, outside of the Prochas. So it comes out that there's 2, it seems to contradict one for the other. One said that God will speak from outside. He'll speak from the whole tent, and Moses stands outside of the whole entire tent. And another place it says, no, Moses just stands outside inside of the tent, but outside of the Holy of Holies. So it seems that they're contradicting one another. Now it comes the third, and it says that Moses went into the outer, the holy, where the candelabra was, and etc. And he heard the voice speaking to him from out the Kaporet. Moses would go into the Mishkan. He would go into this tent of meeting. Since he came in, right? He came into the as soon as he came in, a voice would come from heaven from between these two statues. And Moshe, and from there would go out, and Moses would hear, but he wouldn't go into the Holy of Holies. He would be standing in the holy. Everything I command you, and that's the Vav, is saying ve'et, and everything says, I'll speak to you, everything that I say to the Jewish people, I'm going to speak to you from there. Let's see if we can get this picture again, just to make it clear. I haven't had much success in doing this, but we're going to try again. All right, we won't give up. Maybe we will give up. Next it up. Oh, here. What happened? No. Cancel. What's this? How can I cancel this? Oh, here we go. Look at this. Amazing. Is this, are you seeing this? No, you're not seeing it. Oh, let's try it again. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we have. Why they're facing one away from the other, I don't know. Why would they make a thing like that? Oh, here we go. Here's a picture, right? Just clicked once. Here. All right, so here we have the rings. Here we have the poles. Here we have the two Kruvim with the wings spread out. It says it's supposed to be on their heads, but okay, a little bit's okay. Here, this is maybe a little more accurate. On their heads. Where was this whole business? It was inside of the, we have the picture, we have our picture. Oh, here it is. Here. It was inside. Here was the ark was. This is where the ark was. And there was a curtain here. And this is the whole tent of meeting. This whole thing is what's called here, like this. And Moses would come into here where the candelabra is. There was a curtain here. Moses would stand here, and the voice of God would come out from the Holy of Holies and would come to speak to him. And that's, here's a better picture maybe. This is the outer courtyard. Here's the candelabra. Moses would stand here, and the voice of God would come between these two, the statues on the ark, and would come and it would speak to Moses. Moses would receive the word of God from there. This was called the Ohel Moed, the place where God would meet with Moses. Oh, here's a better picture. Okay, my friends, have a good day with Mashiach now. Tomorrow we'll talk about some more of the vessels of the Holy of the Tabernacle.